Okay.
Hi, this is Diana Myers, and I have a friend of mine here. Her name is Cheryl Hughes, and she's a professional artist, teacher, proprietor, a plein air artist she's famous for. She's out of Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, yep, Central Mass, yeah.
And she owns a company on Facebook called Tinker's Cart Art.
Yep.
And I'm here today to ask her some questions about, you know, the newer customer or the newer client or somebody just starting out in art. And I have some basic questions that I'm going to ask her today. So, Cheryl, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. And just let us know.
Well, and thank you for having me here, Diana. I appreciate it. And I just want to say hello to everybody. And I'm an artist who, geez, I think my first, as a kid with sketching and drawing and coloring and all that, started oil painting classes. Probably was about 10. My mother sent my brother and I to oil painting classes of all things. And I loved it. I went to school for high school, to a vocational school, and took commercial art. And then fine art in college, and then had different businesses. I've always had my own business and did a lot of teaching of decorative painting. I had a gift shop and a decorative painting shop back in the 80s where I taught decorative painting, which was back then we worked in oils, using patterns. First time for me, like using patterns and tracers and step-by-step technique. So I have that background kind of ingrained in me. Then I had a retail business, some other businesses that weren't art related, but always worked, always was an artist, always painted, did shows. I worked for a lot of collectibles companies painting their giftware.
Oh, nice.
And then I started, when paint night started being a thing, I thought, oh, I'm going to give that a try. That looks like fun. So I just, on my own, just bought paints, bought easels, bought aprons, went out and was booked like every night. It was a blast.
Wow.
And I did that for a number of years until COVID hit. And we were inside, and that's when I turned to online. So now I do teach online, and I have a couple memberships online, and it's so cool because we, you know, Diana, we can meet like we wouldn't have met here.
Yeah,
We meet these wonderful people, and great connections. And,
yeah, I think a lot of artists, the same thing happened to them. Yeah.
Wonderful. And introducing so many new people to art, right? Like both of us have new people I've never painted before. They are discovering art, which is great.
Yeah. So same thing kind of happened to me. I actually was a hairdresser. I've always owned my own business. Got to make a living. I always did art on the side though. And I had children, you know, got to have a paycheck. And I went and I knew my clients were dying off, so I did the same thing. I decided, okay, I love this painting party thing. And I was going to buy a business. I couldn't believe how expensive it was. So I this guy ended up meeting somebody. I seen an ad and I jumped on. I got hired with Painting with a Twist.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I worked for them for like 4 or 5 years. He wanted me to buy it. And he was dying off because everybody up here in New York is doing that. And I was thinking about it, and then COVID hit. So I helped him close the place, you know, and I got a bunch of the equipment and started doing it myself. So, but basically what I'm on here to ask you is about the new person we were talking about. And sometimes when you get a new person and they seem like really nervous and they don't know where to start and they've never done it before, you know, I mean, what do you do with somebody like that? I mean,
well, and that's what's great. That's what we're here for, right? Because they can do it from the comfort of their own home. They don't have to be intimidated even going to an art class or whatnot. They could try it at home. And what I drill into my people is it's about the process. The joy is in the process. Let's not worry about what it's going to come out like. Let's not criticize it as we go along. Let's just have fun, enjoy it. And the way we teach, you can start from the beginning because we're not going to make you draw and sketch and know all the things. We'll give you a tracer, trace on your design, and then we'll show you step by baby step how to paint it. And that's a good way to get started and build up your confidence and come out with some nice paintings. I don't think anyone has to have a background or be, you know, the whole, well, I wasn't born with that talent. Well, no one's really born with, yes, some people are born with that talent, but most people learn things and it's through instruction and watching videos and just taking it slowly. Yeah.
Well, I'm having a little problem here. We're breaking up, so I'm trying to get back over here.
Okay.
So tell me, with a new customer or a new client, I never know what to call them, a client or a customer or artist. Would
I
you
know,
say
I call them my people. My
my
peeps.
people? I call them my well, I call my people membership my Rose Warriors because it's the artsy rose.
Yeah, that's
But
perfect.
yeah, but you know, sometimes I don't know what to call them. But I'm having it, my cable or whatever it is keeps breaking up here, so I'm
Yeah,
trying
it's
to get.
good on my end. I don't see you breaking up on my end at all.
You can see me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my camera's still on. All right.
And I can
So
hear you fine.
yeah, it's giving me a hard time. I don't know how to get back so I can see you. I'm trying
Oh,
it. I can't see you.
okay, because I have both of us here. Do you go onto the view up in the upper right-hand corner, maybe, and
Oh
click
yeah,
the gallery?
they got a different screen up here.
Hmm.
Let me just kind of recycle, see what it does. No, recycle, nothing. Let me see. I got it. Oh God, I tell you, it's been cut up.
Technology, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I say it. You know, when they went from analog to this, they said nothing would happen. But you know, every time there's a storm, it's raining out right now.
Yeah.
It starts, you know. So okay, so you know, I tell people when they're new that, you know, that it's like kindergarten. You know, you get crayons out, it notices you got to be perfect. In fact, I think sometimes not being perfect is the name of the game.
Yeah,
You know, just do it for the relaxation. Do it to just try something new, you know.
experience.
Yeah, they're the same people that'll get on rollerblades and they're like 50, but they won't try it, you know, a little drawing. You know? It's like,
Right.
it makes no sense, right? So tell me about then once you got somebody that's painting and they're doing all right, what is usually their struggles and their fears, you know, about
Oh,
making?
well, I dwell on this a lot because I like to address those things. And
Yeah.
one big one is just getting started. And what could be blocking that is I don't have a place set up to paint. I don't have all the supplies. So I'm very minimalist into what supplies you need to start. I don't have a big long list of this brush, that brush, these colors. When I give out a project, I give them a palette with colors, just blocks like yellow, green. These are the colors you need. And I would help them blend their primary. So you really basically could start with just a few colors.
Yeah.
Grab what brushes you might have, or just if you don't have any, I would, you know, a few flats, a few rounds, good to go. I don't want to make it a roadblock that you need to go and spend a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people have some supplies around because they've dabbled a little bit. And then it's the place to paint. So it is a little harder when you have to set up the whole thing on the kitchen table and then put it away. So I try to find a little corner. It could be a little tiny desk in your bedroom. It could be a little corner of the table, and leave it set up a little bit. And that makes it easier to sit down for like 10, 15 minutes and not have to commit a big time block to it. Because if you sit down for a few minutes, you'll get rolling, and then you might want to even stay longer and you enjoy it and you want to come back. But if you have to make it a production, I have to go shopping and get these things. I need to set up the table. Dinner's in 2 hours. So now
It's really true. It is a production.
yeah. So if you can leave a corner, just a tiny, I mean, I work when I'm up here in Maine on a little tiny table, and my painters stay there, and I just can sit down whenever I have a minute or two. And it's not that I do always, I'm a big sketcher. I'm an urban sketcher. I love to sketch wherever I am. And I really, and my people are so interested in it. And I say, little sketchbook, a pencil and an eraser in your pocket.
Yes, I carry one too.
Dentist waiting, you know, do a little sketch things, use that as your inspiration book, put down ideas, put down color swatches. But if nothing else, you could be sitting down and you're incorporating art into your everyday.
Yes. I did it in my checkbook. I got a couple drawings in the
Right?
back.
See? Whatever.
I get inspired. Yeah. Who's that famous artist that did it on a napkin? I forget who it was. But you know, he's just somewhere and someone wanted to see something, so he drew it.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of like just having a little something around, a pencil or pen, a piece of paper. You know?
Yep. And self-confidence. That's a blocker for a lot of people. It's the mindset, and you have to get over the perfection. Like you said, perfection is not what we're after. We are after your own individual style. It's not a compliment if someone says, "Oh my God, your painting looks like a photograph." We're not after that. We can take photographs. I want it to be like, look like a painting.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
I'm not struggling to try to make it look like a photograph. That's just not me.
It's too much. That's too much. Yeah, that's how I got into palette knifing. I love the palette knife. If you watch my stuff, it's my one favorite thing. But I was always trying to get to that perfectionist thing. I think all of us go.
Me too. We all did, I think.
And I seen people years ago working with it, and I ran into this one guy who was taking a class with an SU professor, night classes, and this one guy was next to me, said, "Oh, I can do that with a palette knife." I'm like, yeah. He's dead now, but he's an artist, pretty famous around here, and he did these two guys cutting wood in red and black plaid shirts in the woods with palette knives. It's like, I'm like,
see, yeah.
So you sometimes just find out where you belong, but the perfectionist thing is not good. I mean, it just, you got to learn how to get over that. And there's a lot of, I think people don't like, like it looks too, maybe they don't like the palette knife, but that's got to be individual. And then the only way.
Try all the things. We'll show you all the things and you can try them and find out what you like. I always, as I'm teaching, give people little ideas of how to change that painting to make it their own, or use this element in another painting, or take this tree and you can use it here or there. And then they can start combining ideas and creating their own paintings and not have to worry about using tracers and always copying. And I even did a little mini course on just that, my whole process of how I get my inspiration, how I record it,
that's a great idea. Oh.
Because I love to see people, even if it's like elements from my paintings, and they've combined them all in a different painting. I love to see that originality.
Oh, yeah. I love to like have them combine stuff. You encourage it anyways, Let's see, so the next question. So what do you tell me? Who else is in here? Who wants to come in? Did it just ring? Did yours ring?
I just put myself on mute for a second because someone's phone's ringing.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. What do you do when I can't read my own writing. Excuse me.
That's okay. You must write like I do then, because I'm forever trying to decipher my little notes.
Do you tell them if they think they could? Okay, so we kind of went over that already. Okay. Well, yeah, I went over that a little bit too. What do you when they're first starting out, what do you recommend right off the top? Do you have like a supply? Like I put in my membership, I put in the guide section a lot of stuff to start out with, but I tried to keep it for the beginners. I just started the beginners a little bit area, like 2-3 guides. I try to keep it to a minimum. What do you suggest usually?
I would do the same thing. If someone's brand new and they really don't want to spend a lot, you truly can get by with your primary colors. And it's a good basic knowledge to know how to mix your colors. They're beautiful colors. I'm the same way. I go out and I like, oh my God, I'm into the teals. I have to buy all the teals. I do it, but I don't. Not as I do, because you really just need a nice primary, a black and white and your primaries. And sometimes I'll do a tutorial one night with my group live, and we just mix colors. Like we can just practice.
Yeah, I've done similar. I see some
with the craft paints that we're using a little bit. They're not expensive. I do like the heavy body and the tubed acrylics too as you progress, but these are not expensive, so you really can have a lot of the colors that you like.
Yeah.
Then canvas. I use stretch canvas, but canvas board a lot of times, or even a canvas paper, a canvas palette that. Mixed media pad. It mixed media pad with Gesso if you want to practice on that.
Yeah. So those are basically kind of the same thing I do. In my I do like master classes, and I'm teaching newbies, and I have them use a liquid text. But every now and then we'll kind of. Right now we're doing one a witch I did years ago, and I did her. I think it was my first experience with the little craft paints. So I'm using some of them too. But usually in my day classes I do the other things. But I tell them $20, a couple brushes, some primers, a few of your favorite colors, and then some paper. Paper. The watercolor books are a big thing now too.
They're true. If you get a heavyweight, watercolor paper.
180, I think, is what they sell for at Michael's. I think 140 or 180. It's pretty heavy. It's really reasonable price. So under $20, they can get started. But in the professional classes, I want to do a little bit more in that, so that's another whole story. But so I want to know what you think about. I would assume everybody that comes into a class would be a self-taught artist, because that's what you are. If you come and you start to paint, you're now a self-taught artist. What do you think about formal training? Do you think it's for everybody?
No, and I had formal training, and it was kind of interesting because my fine art in painting and a lot of classes in college even were set up a still life. Here's your supply list. Okay, paint it. And then you walk around and then you'd get critiqued and you'd have a critique. But nobody said, like, when I did the decorative painting, I learned more because of the step-by-step instruction.
Yeah, yeah.
So some people who have a natural ability take off from a class that's just kind of with a little instruction. But I like to have someone tell me pretty much how to mix this color with this color to get this.
Yes,
Where
yes.
do I put it? Like I go a lot of times, I go back to front with my landscapes and things. I do dark to light. I have some little methods I use. But
Yeah.
you know what? I discovered that along the way. And then with more taking decorative painting classes and workshops with different artists, over the years, I did a lot.
Yeah.
I'm in Massachusetts. We have up in, you know.
Yeah, I'm in two right now with other people. I'm in two right now.
What's that?
I'm in two different art groups, classes I pay for. You know, I've
always been taking classes. We're always taking classes too. We're always students as well, which I love. We're always learning.
Yeah, so that's good to know. But I think the same thing. When I started out, they just tell you what to do. Just follow the rules, just do it this way, like that. And I think as you go, I think part of it is the practice, no matter if you've had the education or not. Because I have a sister-in-law, two sister-in-laws, and I love them both, okay? The one never did anything with it. She went to a really prestigious college. They actually are very successful. They have a lot of businesses and stuff, but it has nothing to do with art. And the other one is an art teacher, but she teaches mostly kids. But as far as for herself, I've never seen her do a painting.
Yeah, it's all, because more important than all of that is like a desire to do it and a drive and like a passion for art. That's all you need.
Yeah, and then, I'm doing some, I'm going to do like a little ebook, and this is self-taught artists. And it turns out that there's a lot of them through history. And somebody had to start it, right? Diego went for a few months. He was, 37 when he died. He didn't go long. It was too regimented. He liked the freedom. I think a lot of us are very, we like to just kind of do our own thing, we like to feel it out and try it. It's, I think,
try
like
the
ability to just I'm going to try it my way.
Exactly. That's why we see such a great variety and all sorts of.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, it's been fun, Cheryl, today. And I'm hoping I can maybe take some classes with your.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see each other on the Slack. And each other on Facebook, and we'll do this again sometime. And it was a nice interview.
I always love chatting with you, Diana. Anytime.
You too. It was a lot of fun. All right, so I'm gonna take this video off right now. Thank you again. Thank you, Cheryl.